At any rate, man, let's let's move on, man, because last week the Sherrone Moore thing was just breaking when we got on, and we didn't want to talk out of school about everything that was taking place with Sherrone. But now we obviously have all of the details. So obviously we know that Sherrone was fired. That's no longer breaking news for an inappropriate relationship with a subordinate. We now know that upon his termination, he went home, obviously had some sort of conversation / argument with his wife. And then from there, and this is all alleged and according to police reports, went from there to the young lady's home. And again, this is all alleged. This is according to police reports, and forced his way into the home somehow. They didn't say how, but in front of her with butter knives and apparently some kitchen scissors, threatened to unalive himself and accused her of ruining his life. And he was then subsequently taken into custody. He was arraigned on a misdemeanor charge and also with a home invasion charge and I believe a felony assault charge.
Third degree.
Yeah, okay, so that I think that's a misdemeanor. So a misdemeanor assault charge and also a home invasion charge. And of course, the case is obviously pending. I believe he's out on bond at this time.
Was Sean actually out with his wife?
Yep. I guess,
Ride or die.
Yeah, they're going to listen. He at least needed 4 appearances at this point.
I mean, the long game is set. Game set match anyway.
Yeah, listen, he at least needed, he needs that for the criminal side that he don't end up getting thrown under a jail.
You know what it is.
Allegedly. We're going to say that allegedly.
But, so the charges were felony 3rd-degree home invasion, misdemeanor stalking in a domestic relationship, and a misdemeanor breaking and entering.
Gotcha. Okay. So 1 felony and then some misdemeanors. So a few things, man. So, there's been a lot of conversation. Some of it sports related, most of it not.
Right.
Most of it about, black men blowing millions of dollars chasing women, particularly white women. Let's just call it what it is, man. Let's get into it. Because Mel Tucker did something probably more foolish because he blew a much bigger bag.
Yes.
But, and
he ain't even get laid.
Exactly. Right. To put it bluntly. Yeah, right. But what say the people's champ, man, before I chime in with my 2 cents. Sherrone is man, I don't even know. I have so many thoughts, man. Some of them appropriate for this conversation, some of them not. But what say the people's champ, man?
Man, we're about a year into this show, and I'd like to go a few more. So,
right,
I'm gonna dance this line as tight as I can.
Yeah.
With the whole Sherrone Moore thing,
yeah.
Oh, God. I mean, on its face, you're like, what do you want me to say? It's like, I think if you've had anyone responsible in your life, when you get to a certain point in your life and you obtain employment,
right,
there's usually a conversation had about let's just say fraternizing with fellow employees in the romantic sense, let's just say. So, whether you're the head coach at the University of Michigan or, you're the manager at Wendy's.
Right.
You know, if you married and you messing with baby girl working the drive-through window, it's gonna go bad.
Yeah.
You know, so again, it's like, and as for, you know, the whole thing that was kind of really driving me up the wall was the, you know, where you everyone's kicking Sherrone when he's down, and he didn't get his ass kicked enough on the way up,
Right.
or he wouldn't have been in this position. You get what I'm saying? Like, there is
It's a very interesting way to look at it.
like you like sometimes like you've got to realize what's at stake.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a difference to me between, from a person who's done plenty of both,
Yeah.
between mistakes and bad decisions.
Yeah.
And it's like, a lot of times, like us as Black people, when we make just really, really, really messed up decisions, we want to view it publicly
Yeah.
as a mistake.
Yep.
Whereas I don't think a lot of times the right message is sent abroad to who needs to receive it by doing that.
Yeah.
Which is why I think we have these repeat occurrences.
Yeah, man. I mean, no, that's very well put. And the only thing that I add to that is that Sherrone Moore was the first Black head football coach at the University of Michigan in 150 years.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, maybe it's an unfair responsibility to put on him by saying, you got to watch your step. I mean, now, do I believe that Sherrone Moore, of the 200 plus, you know what, FCS schools, do I think he's the only one that's sleeping with a subordinate?
Extramarital affair? Absolutely not.
No, probably not. But you got to understand your situation a little bit better. First of all, you were left behind. Let's go ahead and view the situation the way that it is. You were left behind by the Harbaugh
Scandal
regime to bear the brunt of the scandal.
Yeah.
To take the punishment, basically. And, you know, listen, I'll leave up to the audience to deduce whether or not him being Black has anything to do with that. I've got my own opinion, but I'll keep it to myself. You were left behind to bear the brunt of that scandal, and you were punished for it. So it's highly questionable whether or not the University of Michigan really wanted you to be their head football coach at all. So understanding your situation is key. So when they kept you around, basically to take the brunt of the scandal, because any new football coach that they brought in, they would have been punished for something they weren't a part of. So they kept you on. So in the light of that, it would have been smart of you not to give them a reason to terminate you. Now, me, I'm just going to tell you the way that I'm thinking about it. If it's millions of dollars at stake, I'm not hiring any women. Not even unattractive ones, not even old ones, none. I'm not hiring any women. Now, that might sound bold. I might get fired for not hiring any women. And then why do you need a personal assistant? And if you need one, hire a man, because women can only get you in trouble in this situation because there's a no fraternizing rule. So I wouldn't even hire any women. It'll be an all male operation, man. It's football. And most of the time that's not going to be looked at as being too odd. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's just all boys, all men around, it's football, we scouting, we talking football all day, we watching film, we doing football related stuff. And
nah, man, I think you got to give yourself a little more credit than that. I mean, you get what I'm saying? Like, you could hire some women and be totally fine.
I would be totally fine, but I got a staff full of men.
You just talking about the entire whole.
I wouldn't hire. Correct. I'm gonna protect everybody.
So you're talking about the environment.
Correct. I'm protecting everybody. I probably would not hire any women. my assistants are men. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm protecting everybody. The environment, in my opinion, might not be good for women. Now that's just my way of thinking.
But I think you can do like a better job. Like, because again, and maybe this is another conversation that leads up to Ward Manual, but maybe that leads to like better character evaluation.
I agree.
Because I mean, when you look at Sherrone, it's a series of like bad decisions.
Yeah, I mean, right.
Like,
the OnlyFans
that have like
girl,
being revealed, where it's just like, I mean, this dude was a Richard head.
Yeah,
right. like let's be like come on now. Like after a while,
I agree.
Like, I get it. Sometimes you fall in love with somebody else wrongfully outside of your marriage. This fool was just freaky and dumb and had money. And had an affinity for snow bunnies.
But let me say this.
Because
Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
Because it's, first off, it's two different issues in play right here.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Sherrone Moore issue and there's the Michigan issue. I'm going to put the Michigan issue to the side right now because I think Lance is about to get into it. But as far as the Sherrone Moore side of it goes, it's outside of everything that's already been reported. It's clear that this man had it. From what I'm reading and what I've seen and whatnot, it's clear that he probably has a sex addiction. Because there's no way you're going out and following OnlyFans models on your official head football coach account. Like, that's just negligence to the utmost degree.
Yeah,
and then
no doubt.
We get back to the whole inappropriate relationship. Like, this started in 2022. He wasn't the coach until 2024.
Yep.
So now I think, and that's why I'm gonna turn it back to you. Like, now it's like we got to start really talking about Ward, because you hired this man, and not everybody's saying this was just an open secret from the get-go.
Yeah.
Well, let me do this. Let me do this, because and you might be right. You know, I don't want to start diagnosing people with things.
Right. Fair.
You know,
That's
I mean,
fair. That's legit.
A lot of men, you know, have.
And mind you, there is an investigation going on into what they know and what they don't know.
I agree.
And that from what some people are saying, Michigan might have a permanent president before the semester opens up.
Yeah.
So I think what's probably going to happen is they're going to do their investigation, and I'm air quoting as a ardent Michigan supporter. I am doing air quotes when I say investigation.
Mm-hmm. Internal investigation.
The internal investigation that's going to show whatever they show, and then I think it's just going to come down to the new president and decide if this is who I want to be the head of my athletic department.
Yeah. I mean, let me pivot from the Ward Manual conversation a little bit, because I understand that, you know, that's a whole nother issue, because I tend to agree that, you know, it's looking less and less likely that he's going to survive this. But let me just introduce the fact that some people, when they get money and stature and power, that does something to an individual.
No drug like access.
When they get visibility, see, they may be perfectly fine prior to that, you know, where they might be chased, or they may appear chaste. Let me say that. They may appear to be upstanding and moral until they get some money and some visibility and some access, and then they got women throwing themselves at them. See, some men have never had a woman come on to them. Some men have never had a woman, you know, invite them to some sort of sexual liaison. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to say, you know, I'm trying to be PC. And there is
You're saying he could be potentially a lame.
Yeah, right. I mean, and that can be intoxicating once
we've seen it,
experience that.
We've seen it.
And so I'm saying, like, you know, I'm not trying to defend Ward Manual or anybody else, but I'm just saying that you may not be able to necessarily pick that up in somebody's character from the jump. Like, you know, sometimes you introduce them to these situations where there's high visibility, there's a big salary, people start to know them, and then you know, you see these traits come out. You like, oh man, I ain't even know he was gonna act like that.
But there's a difference between somebody changing because of they getting success and somebody continuing a relationship that they had with somebody in 2022.
Right? Yeah. No, I'm speaking more to my point where I just wouldn't hire women to be around the program. It would be like a boys club, you know, from the beginning. Like, I'm just not having women around my program like that. This is what I'm saying, because you might be like, yeah, you know, Lance is cool, Justin is cool. Like, you know, we can have, you know, Katie around and Tiffany around, but then, you know, I might start paying Lance $1 million a year, and women start, you know, like he gets some visibility, and all of a sudden he the man, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that may change his personality some.
Correction.
Is all I'm saying.
I also had sex with Katie.
Right, exactly. Those conversations might be popping up, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, but I didn't want to go too much down the Sherrone Moore. I just wanted to give that update.
Yeah, no, I
and
get
give
you.
some additional perspectives
but to your
on
point,
it.
It's so many legs on it.
Yeah,
You know
it
what I
is.
mean?
It is.
And
There's so much to discuss, man.
It's a lot. Yeah, man.
And I appreciate your perspective too, nephew, because and to your point, listen, whether or not he has a sex addiction, and again, I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist.
I'm not saying for certain he has one. I'm just saying from what we hear.
We know he's freaky, brother. He hit up the IG.
I'm backing up
out of jail.
I'm backing up your point. Whether he got one or not, they gonna say he got one, because they taking that into the court.
Yeah, bro.
Whether or not he got one or not.
Force him for season tickets, quid pro is crazy. That is crazy.
Vance, real quick before we transition, do you got any thoughts on how the situation is unfolding right now with the head coaching search?
Yeah, because it was looking like Kenny Dillingham was like in there for a second, but then that died down fast.
Major bag alert.
Right.
You know, they just like, nah. Well, I was hoping that they would name a coach
by the time we got back on air.
Like to just kind of quelch
all of
this conversation.
Yes.
But and it makes me wonder what nephew was talking about earlier. Like, if they knew this was going on, and then to your point, where if they never really wanted Sherrone in the first place, where's plan B, C, and D?
Right. And so, you know, and again, I really didn't want to open up this can of worms, but there's a lot of conversation around the young lady not being terminated, who was a part of it. And I'm wondering,
how funny is that?
If a new head coach is worried about the NCAA coming in and conducting an investigation, to nephew's point, Michigan's doing an internal investigation, because it sounds to me like, because nephew brought it up,
like
you
the
know,
Mavi Smith internal investigation,
like that, the institutional control, you know, it can and might very well be called into question with this entire scandal. Like, you know, like this opens up a can of worms. This opens up the ability for the NCAA to come and start poking around.
Yeah.
And so I think that a new head coach may be reluctant based upon that. They like, look, we don't want to come into no sanctions and all of that.
Yeah. I think you're on to something there, because to your point, I think the worms have been out and digging for a while with Michigan. I mean, you look at just over the past 10 years. I mean, hell, how many DUIs they tried to sweep under the rug.
Listen.
And the whole Mavi Smith situation with the gun, and the Xavier Simpson situation.
Yep.
I mean, just pick one.
Yeah,
you know?
This is what I'm saying.
And then you kind of put this as like the class action lawsuit that they just settled over, that 2022, 2023. And then you throw this on top as like this conversation that crosses over into so many different conversations.
Right.
You know, in terms of, again, another workplace behavior conversation.
Right.
another black-white relationship conversation. The whole criminalization of the black male sexuality conversation. The whole lineage legacy in terms of Sherrone being the first black coach at a historic PWI.
Right.
All of that.
Yeah.
And so to have this go on top of all of the things since what?
Is what I'm talking about.
14, 15, or let's just say since Harbaugh.
Yeah.
I mean, and Juwan Howard.
Yeah, that's what Juwan. Yeah,
the whole Juwan Howard.
Like it's been
I mean,
no, people don't realize that this really started with the first hockey hire that Ward tried to hire, and there was something crazy going on with that. Like this that's really like the start as far as Ward is concerned.
Yeah, and again, it's like, and I don't want to pin it on just say Ward, but it's like you say, it's gonna be a fall guy.
Yeah, it's institutional. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, this could, and so I think that any head coach with advisors, and they all gonna have them, even if you offering a big bag, like you don't want to be set up to fail. Like they might, you get the job, and then the NCAA come in like, yeah, we're gonna launch an investigation, and it could be sanctions.
So this may be the new question for like people to answer in the comments. Is the University of Michigan toxic?
I mean, yeah, like certainly, yeah. And I mean, it almost might have been better for them to just,
because you kind of add this up now. You look at how they left.
Yeah, just terminate Sherrone, but give him his money and do it quietly, because them not giving him his money is what made him crash out like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that they like, yeah, and you ain't gonna get paid. So I think they might have been better off just paying him. But
yeah, man.
Again,
I just don't think this will go away, man.
No, yeah, it's not, man.
But just real quick before we move on, just to sum up what I've been gathering from other news stories and videos and whatnot. So it sounds like right now the timeline is they're waiting for Friday to have Kalen DeBoer tell them no.
Okay.
And then from there, then probably Kenny Dillingham will probably get the official offer at that point. And then the third name that was coming up was Jed Fish, but it seemed like Jed Fish is apparently out. So what happens if Kenny Dillingham says no? I don't know.
They keep searching, but again, I just think anybody's going to be reticent at this point, because the institutional control investigation, listen, I'm not going to say it seems imminent, but it's certainly a strong possibility that the NCAA could come in and launch an investigation. But
that'll be a battle.
Yeah. Nah, man, yeah, that could be something.